The biggest funny car event of the season is coming. Friday and Saturday, June 16th and 17th. The Twisted Shifterz Summer Nationals. Presented by 360 Steel. It's Funny Car Chaos. With nearly 3 dozen outlaw flip-top plastic fantastics invading Cordova Dragway. Plus, gear jammin' hot rods with Midwest Pro Stocks, Nostalgia Gassers and Super Stocks, Ozark Super Shifters, and more. It's all kicking off Friday evening at 7 with 2 huge funny car qualifiers. Then on Saturday, final qualifying at 2 p.m., followed by no-holds-barred eliminations at 6. And we're not done yet. See incredible flame-throwing jet funny cars lighting up the sky both nights. Parking and pit passes are free with your general admission ticket. Go to CordovaDragway.com to get them now. The biggest, wildest, and most chaotic packed funny car event of the season. It's the Twisted Shifterz Summer Nationals. Presented by 360 Steel. Friday and Saturday, June 16th and 17th at Cordova Dragway. Who's your money on?
What can 360 Steel do for you? We make custom steel products made right here in Illinois. Fire pits of all kinds, knockdown styles to take along anywhere. Hold your drinks high with our drink stands while pouring horseshoes or bags. We have a complete line of military to firefighter signs, flags, hats, stickers, and more, along with many styles of decor. Welcome signs and custom clocks to a number of different monograms and signs. Personalized, custom options for your perfect sign. Bare steel or powder coated to last indoors and outdoors. 360steel.com. Spell it out. 360steel.com.
Welcome to Chaos Live tonight, presented by Twisted Shifterz. I'm Lee Kraft, pit correspondent for Chaos Nation, and the man that voices over it all, high from the tower, David Rattan, next to me for Chaos Nation. David, we are getting closer and closer to the next time Chaos is out, and it sure enough cannot come soon enough, but we'll be out there at Cordova. But we got a little bit more looking back to do there at Eddyville Raceway with Chaos in the cornfield.
Yeah, we do, and people know that we usually do this show every other week, but there was just so much to talk about from Eddyville. Is that, Twisted Shifterz and 360 Steel bringing us that Chaos in the cornfield. It was so packed that we couldn't get it done all last week. So we're going to extend all that enthusiasm and excitement from a couple of weeks ago at the racetrack to now. That race, I'm still reeling. People are still talking about it. You see some other shows out there that are continuing to just kind of still be revved up off of all the action that we had there at Eddyville for Chaos in the Cornfield. And going to get a chance to talk to one of the winners from there on our show tonight. But man, it was so over the top that we just have to go 2 weeks in a row to be able to cover all the things that there were to cover, and we still might miss some. I don't know.
For sure. I know myself, Darren Williams Jr., the assistant editor for Competition Plus, we talked about the event on the Competition Plus Power Hour with Chris, and honestly, hey, we had a great conversation with Bill Bader Jr. High above the Summit Motorsports Park there in Norwalk, Ohio, about Chris Graves and Nitro Chaos and Funny Car Chaos, along with Warren Evans. And there certainly is a big buzz about what happened in, the middle of nowhere of the cornfields of Iowa and what went down and what transpired. And you have an announcement that we're going to do it again in 2024. I don't even think the event had rested 24 hours, and there was already an announcement that, hey, we're doing this again. This was such a big and grand time. It's going to come back. We're going to do it again. And I'm sure that this event, with it working out successfully, we'll see some other doubles in the seasons to come, and we're going to do it big elsewhere also. I'm sure, I haven't heard, though. I'm sure they were talking about it on Drag Illustrated and the West Buck Show. I'm sure they were talking about it on other platforms as well. And I know tomorrow night I'm going to be talking with Megan Meyer, the A-Field winner, the McKinney Corp A-Field winner there in Nitro Chaos. So it is continuing. It was continuing. And I imagine, though we are expecting a great time in Cordova for the first ever points-paying event there, and no jets allowed, by the way. Sorry, guys. But nonetheless, I do think that we are going to go there, and the buzz will still be until the end of Cordova what happened at Eddyville. Now, in particular, Nitro Chaos, that in and of itself was a spectacular show. And I know my buddy, Darren Williams Jr., he's like, Chris, look, I love Funny Car Chaos, but that Nitro Chaos thing you got going on is pretty rad. And I agree with him. Like, that got me out of my chair from South Carolina and made me go to Iowa for the first time ever when Chris decided to do that in Eddyville for the first time. So, Nitro Chaos. Yeah, it's happening, man.
Well, you know, it was just the sixth time there's been one. Is that right? Fifth or sixth? Anyway, it's stacking up. Nowhere near as many Nitro Chaos events as there have been Funny Car Chaos events. And I'm usually always the one that keeps up with how many of those there's been. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was the fifth. And so anyway, Nitro Chaos really, truly is coming into its own this year, 2023. You know, it was like, okay, there were people that heard about it, and it's kind of like, well, I really have something else to do that weekend. But it is really getting to the point that you know, when you have people like Gary Wheeler and folks announcing early that they're going to pursue that championship, and of course he was just one of several that came out and said, okay, we're doing this deal. And you know, so with 2 full 8-car fields and several folks on the outside looking in, it really came into its own there at Eddyville. You know, you talk about the middle of nowhere. I got to tell you, first time I ever went to the racetrack there at Eddyville, you know, somebody said to me, welcome to your new favorite racetrack. And, you know, there's been a lot of conversation about it, about what a great picturesque spot that is. And, you know, it's not exactly the middle of nowhere. It's just enough that it's very, you know, very rural, and not going to be a big chance of urban sprawl coming out there and shutting it down like at a lot of other racetracks that we've been seeing in the last year and a half. But man, just a great place to continue to grow an extraordinary event. And you know, whether, you know, with the double up coming back there, the Chaos in the cornfield with Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos, it's like, you know, could we see 60? Could we see 70? There's going to be new developments that take place throughout the rest of this season. Not that I have advanced knowledge of any of those kind of things, but Chris Graves made it known that he wants to try to get a C field sponsor so that there's always a C field in the Nitro Chaos competition, because, you know, the word is out, and it's a grand place to race. The money's good. It's a great time. You don't have to be a gazillion-dollar team in order to come out and compete. And, you know, coming out and having that much fun at the racetrack, man, that's one of those things that anybody can relate to and everybody wants to be a part of. So, you know, we're going to get a chance to continue to celebrate that, and all those competitors that came out and that brought the show from all across the country. And it was just extremely worth being a part of it. And, you know, that word, I think, is going to bring us more and more folks as we continue, whether we're going Funny Car Chaos, whether going Nitro Chaos, or whether we're putting them together for the greatest show on earth. It's going to be phenomenal.
For sure. This guy, he regularly tunes in, Gary Wheeler Jr., and chats with us, the driver of the Grand Prix front engine dragster. And he is one that I have had my eye on since the beginning. And right now we got a tie there in the point standing between him and Megan Meyer. He's done it through consistency. 2 final round appearances in 2 races. I think for sure championship contender. It's going to be a dogfight all the way there to Oklahoma. Looking forward to what they can do in that front engine dragster combination.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, whether it's the fuel altereds, or whether it's the funny cars, whether it's the injected nitro dragsters, you know, the level of competition is so high that these competitors are rising to the level, and you've got a tie in points. Yeah, Toad, yeah, we're still not over it either. But, you know, we're tied in points between someone from the B field and someone from the A field, which is, oh, by the way, exactly why the way it was drawn up. You don't have to have the you don't have to have the biggest budget in order to get that championship trophy. You will absolutely earn it, and that's the way it ought to be. So it's definitely going to be racing for it, and we've got the Funny Car Chaos show at Eddyville. It was off the hook too, with so many cars and the new drivers and the new teams that continue to show up, and you keep hearing about even more people that are putting cars together. And we just anticipate getting the chance to see some of those cars and the teams that bring them at some of the races that are coming up. We're going to Cordova, which is in the not too long ago would be considered a super track, and sure. It's still a really nice track. The track, the facility, the grandstands, the amount of cars they can hold in the pits is ridiculous. How many cars they can hold in the pits, and the number of fans that they can hold there. They're accustomed to bringing the World Series in there, and packed houses for over 50 years, and they know how to do it. They do it right. And I got to looking. It's like, okay, here we go to Cordova for the first points race that we've ever run there. The previous one was exhibition, and oh my goodness, it was great. Having the jets running against the wheel-driven cars and all that. It was just really, really fun in a big, big way. This time it'll be different. And looking at the pre-entries and seeing it go from a couple of dozen to 28 to 30 to now we're over 36, and anticipating some additional announcements to make sure that those who support the series are supported, and we're hoping to hear some of that stuff coming up soon. But Cordova is going to be, it's always a great place to be. When they open the gate, here's a rule of thumb: if they open the gates for a race at Cordova, you need to go. If there's any way you can get there, because they will put on a great show, and this Summer Nationals coming up in a week and a half is going to truly be epic.
That it will be. And the show tonight, yes, Jim Gifford in just a few moments, but we've got a mystery guest lined up that will have direct implications on the field there at Cordova for the Summer Nationals. And I think this individual making a chaos return, well, it's going to be a hot announcement and heat up the Summer Nationals just that much more. And looking forward to this person being back a part of the Chaos Nation. David, I think might be a good time. Let's take that break and get Mr. Gifford on and chat with him about his win out there at Chaos in the cornfield.
All right. Stay with us.
Well, if I can find the commercial. Here it is.
If you can race it, chances are we make a piston or connecting rod for it. We have about 4,000 to 5,000 different part numbers on the shelf for connecting rods and pistons. So about half of what we sell comes right off the shelf, and the other half is custom-made parts. I am a firm believer in distribution and everybody getting their cut, doing their job, and getting rewarded for it. So we'll see how that goes in the future.
Jim Gifford had planned to be at Edgewater Sports Park for the season opener, but when the weather changed the schedule, he was unable to make the rain date. But he certainly made it to Chaos in the cornfield, and he has shown that he's been thinking about this a long time, and he has brought his A game. This should be another exceptional final round in Chaos competition. Look at those candles lit, and it's going to be Jim Gifford closing the deal. 370 at 195.48 miles an hour.
We got it then?
Jim Gifford wins.
Yeah, baby!
He wins.
Woo!
Look at that reaction. Oh, happy man here down at the top end.
First race as a team owner, too.
Awesome. Hey, we missed you in Pennsylvania, but you sure made sure no one missed you here in Eddyville.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Awesome. Thank you for giving us a great place to race and a great time.
370.
Beautiful. We'll take it. Bracket bomber.
Jim Gifford is your winner in the CP-Carrillo Nitro CHAOS B Field.
And I imagine you are still just as excited about your win as you were in that moment. Welcome to CHAOS Live, Mr. Gifford. Uh-oh.
Junkyard Jim, can you hear us? Uh-oh, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you all of a sudden. This was working right. We tested this before the show. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. See, well, David, live. You just never know. You just never know.
Right.
Oh, Jim, we'll have Jim back. We'll have Jim back. I love that reaction, though, when, because these guys don't always have radios, and they're like, did I win? And I'm like walking towards them, and they're like, I had to win. It's a cool moment to have that happen. Well, let's try Jim again. Jim.
How about it now?
We got it.
Oh, yeah, that's just right. Now we can hear you. Well, welcome to the CHAOS, my friend. It's been a while, but boy, you came back in grand style.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. This is a great deal to be racing with this group. I truly enjoy it. It's hard to find real racers anymore. And Chris and Tara, everybody that's put on this Funny Car CHAOS / Nitro CHAOS, this is great. This is where we are all truly racers. There wasn't one person at that track that I could walk through the pits and go, well, there's a spoiled piece of shit just enjoying mom and dad's money. It's really just great to be a part of great racing family, great racing people.
We go back to we go back to 2018, and the first race that we got acquainted with Jim Gifford was Central Illinois Dragway at Havana, and you and Billy D brought that Corvette Nor'easter funny car out there, and so you've been around CHAOS for a good while. Ran a couple of races with us, and I got to tell you, I don't know, you may have heard this already before, Jim, but when I was looking at the entry list for CHAOS in the cornfield, I saw the picture of the Svengali funny car, and I was like, man, that's a beautiful car. Then I saw your name, and I was like, yes, sir. Because I tell you, brother, I interviewed you back in 2019. It was in North Star, and you're a competitor. And I have been looking for the day when you would make your return to CHAOS competition. And by golly, it got to happen. So, we're really excited to see you come back.
Well, we're excited to be a part of it and back right now. My tuner, Gary Kennedy, I was gung-ho to come out to the next race. And he's like, no. We're going to take a little time here. You got to grab some more parts, get some more stuff ready. So we're not going to be in Cordova, which is, it sucks. I'm ready to go. Tractor trailer's loaded and ready to go right now. But Skippy's he's on point. Him and I have been dreaming this whole deal up now since back in the days of John Hale, when him and I were racing with John Hale. And we've been bouncing ideas back and forth for the better part of 6 years now on this tune-up alone on the car we are running currently. And we're ready to come back full time, but it's probably not going to happen until 2024 because we want to be able to go after the championship tour of Funny Car CHAOS. We'll participate in Nitro CHAOS when it's not conflicting, but our main goal is to compete in Funny Car CHAOS next year.
That's fantastic, and we just brought a scoop to everybody here on CHAOS Live tonight, right there directly from the Svengali World Headquarters. Well, that is great to hear. So I've only ever seen you drive a car that's got nitro fuel. So how did you acquire your taste for nitromethane?
Well, it's this goes back to the late 80s. We were Ford Motorsport Nationals at Maple Grove Raceway, and I was 5 years old. It was the first time I ever saw a nitro car run. And the two headliner cars there were Frank Kramberger with the Philadelphia Flyer and Gary Denson with the Teacher's Pet California Discount Warehouse car. And a good friend to this day, Al Liebman. We weren't friends then. I was just a 5-year-old kid. I was standing on the sidelines, and he goes, kid, you want to sit in a race car with me? Okay. He picked me up and set me in a funny car. I was 5 years old. It was the first time I sat in a nitro funny car. And it kind of stuck. 94, we went and showed him pictures of me as a kid. He set me in the car again. And from there, basically from the time I was a little kid, I was just obsessed with nitro funny cars and just always wanted to do it and devoted my whole life to getting here. And we ran some alcohol cars in between there. When I was 18 years old, I drove a nostalgia car, a big block Chevy blown on alcohol, Power Glide. Drove it off the End Island Dragway on my final license pass. And from there, We had an alcohol burning Alder, which we started sneaking nitro in and ran really well with it. And then in 2018, we bought this. We bought the car that's in the trailer outside and started building this Nitro CHAOS / Funny Car CHAOS deal.
Wow. Great story. And, it just reminds me of that sign you see at Penwell. At this racetrack, there's a little kid who wants to be just like you, and you were one of those kids, and here you are living a dream, a theme that we hear over and over. So in order to get to this point, you've been working to get to this point. You built a business that of course helps to allow you the flexibility and the financial opportunity, because this stuff ain't cheap, is it?
No, not at all. So I started right out of high school. I was working on fuel cars as a clutch guy, drivetrain specialist from the time I was 14. And then when I graduated high school, I kind of was not given an ultimatum, but I was told either you stay home here or you go racing full time. So I opted to stay home, built a great business, and it took until now we're in the asphalt paving business, making Pennsylvania black one day at a time. It says it on the side of all of our trucks. And it does. It's a good business. Work real hard at it. In fact, today I was out there all day raking asphalt. Had to come home, get cleaned up for this. And a lot of hard work. A lot of time went into, there's Hopi. If anybody knows our traveling cats, he's in the background there. But yeah, it's just a lot of hard work's gone into the business and the racing, obviously. And along with the business, I have some of the best employees. They've known me for years. They work their asses off for me. I try to reciprocate to them, and they got to put up with me because I can be a real ball of fire, whether it's at the track or on the job. And like I said, it's just all work. Countless hours in paving business and right here in this basement / speed shop to put stuff together and make it all happen. So
you've got your eyes set on chasing the championship in 2024, and there's not a whole lot of future in looking back. However, when we look back, we find out some more of those things that help you build your fan base, because you've already got a real good start with the incredible performances that you and Skippy put together on that car at Eddyville. Was that your first time at Eddyville?
It was. I wanted to go to Eddyville when we had the Alder, and it just never worked out again. Every time I thought we were going to go, I never had enough money, and I had to stay busy working. So that was our first time in Eddyville, but it was my third attempt that I wanted to go out there. And yeah, just I'm thinking about all the work gone into doing this right now. Just crazy how it all happened and came together. And even out there at Eddyville, Skippy said to me when we got there, because I said to him and I bounce ideas back and forth, but he's the brains behind this. He's taught me a lot over the years. And when we got there, I said, listen, this weekend's all about you tuning the car. I said, no more of me stepping in and saying, no, let's do this. So he still bounced ideas off of me, but he was his calls, and it all come together perfect. And he said to me, he goes, all I want is 4 runs this weekend. 4 runs. He said, I want 4 runs A to B out of this thing nice and clean. And boy, we got more than that. The first run there, I just towards the wall because I was reaching for the chute, scared to death of going off the end of the track. But anyway, that came together on the second run. We run that 375. Like I said, everything went perfect. On the final round there, we didn't even change the spark plugs. We didn't pull the valve covers off of it. We pulled the pan once all weekend, and that was the tune-up and the work that we were trying to achieve going to your races. We just didn't want to be building something that we were going to have to work on nonstop all hours of the night. We wanted something easy, user-friendly, and go out, possibly win a race and have fun, and that's exactly what we accomplished on our first time out. It was great.
Man, the consistency that you guys demonstrated, that tune-up is perfect for Eddyville, and I hope it will translate. You said you don't think that you're going to, you're obviously not going to be coming out a whole lot more, but you're looking at 2024. Will we see you some more this year at any events?
Yeah, definite confirmation. You will see us at MIR, and I think you're going to see us one more time down in your region. Down Texas, down in that area there, one more time before the end of the year. But it's more or less, if it were up to me right now, well, my wallet says a little different, but I would still beg, borrow, steal, find a way to do it. If it were up to me, we would hit everything for the rest of the year. But Skippy's very good about keeping me disciplined and in line, because anybody who knows me, I'm just firecracker. I'm ready to go off all the time, and I'm ready. Let's go now. We got to run now. You can call it ADHD, whatever you want to call it, but I'm just ready to go all the time. And he's the one that said we need to slow down and think about this. And as a tuner, I've been around him since I was 19 years old, and following his lead has always been a good one. He's had a way to put it together and make it work. And God bless him for putting up with me, because I can be a real bastard at times.
I think I sense a little parallel between a couple of guys named Force and Coil, perhaps. So, you know, if it works out that well for you guys, you've got a heck of a future ahead of you.
You can see the car behind me here. That's a tentative big show car, and we flirted with the idea, but it's just one of those things. So that's even more work for what? And again, it's not out of the question, but yeah, we have a future ahead of us. We don't know where it's going to be going yet.
Well, you know, when the timing is right, the opportunity will present itself. You're positioning yourself very well by coming to the CHAOS events and having you and your crew be comfortable working together and doing what it takes to go to get back to the next round within a short period of time. And you know, you guys are in training for the future is whatever you want it to be. It sounds to me like.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like I said, there's infinite possibilities right now. Keeping the chemistry of the crew is going to be not a challenge. I don't think so, because we all get along really well. We just blend. The left hand knows what the right hand's doing all the time, and that's the key to making the race cars run really well. And Skippy's good at that. He just keeps the crew together. You know, we constantly have meetings in the pit. Hey, you know, tells us what he wants to accomplish, how he wants to accomplish it. And it's just a good thing. And my crew guys, the three that are with us right now, Glenn Reich, Dan Hardswick, Scott Morrell, and Skippy. I can't say enough to those guys. Scott and Dan and Glenn, they come down here all the time in their free time that they never have, because they're working on cars everywhere. And they'll come down. We work on the race car Friday, Saturday, a little bit Sunday, drink some beers, and go home. And they're just almost all their spare time is devoted to racing, and half of that is to me. And I love those guys. I can't do it without them.
Over your shoulder, I can see that Nitro CHAOS trophy that Twisted Shifterz and 360 Steel put together. Man, I love the look of that trophy, and I got to say, you probably like the look of it in your shop.
As far as trophies in my workshop, so this is just the race shop in the basement of my house, but my workshop for the paving business, I have a whole trophy thing. And of all the trophies I've received over the years, that is the coolest trophy. I mean, it's just badass. Just like the whole racing outfit that you guys represent. It's just, you can tell it's in the racer's mind. I mean, it's everybody about this is they're into this sport. Everybody in this group is about this sport, and that's what makes this so much fun.
I tell you, Darren Foster brought those trophies in, and he gave us a peek of it. So it was like, wow, whoever takes this home is really going to have something. So they outdid themselves, and it's as they always do. We're so thrilled to have them as part of the team of Funny Car CHAOS and Nitro CHAOS. So your paving business, you've had that going for a while. Do you, or did you have a towing business?
No, we're just in the paving business. We have a trucking business, which we do. What we would do, and I've kind of slowed down from that. The triaxles that we run during the day for my paving business, because we're pretty small, we'd run at night. Well, there was times I was working around the clock. I'd be paving all day. I'd go home, sleep for an hour or two, go and jump in the truck and be on an interstate project for 7 o'clock at night, work till 3 to 5 in the morning somewhere, or go home and sleep another hour or two. And I mean, I just about burnt myself out, but that was what drove us to build this car. I mean, I don't ever want to do it again. I'm glad I'm over the hump, but boy, there was 2 years of just round the clock, just work. But I survived it. I'm as big as a house. That's part of the reason I'm so fat right now, but we're trimming that off a little bit at a time.
So for somebody that has the aspiration that you do, and you have certainly some high aspirations, but if they're just getting started in bracket racing or nostalgia racing or Funny Car CHAOS or whatever they choose to start at, what would you recommend to them? Well,
the first thing is you either have it or you don't. And as a kid, we raced junior dragsters, and my dad, I got to say, my dad is the best. He really pushed me. He was really hard on me at times, but you can see how it paid off. The guy we'd go junior drag racing, and we'd go junior drag racing. It was like, if you've ever seen the movie Full Metal Jacket, that's what it was like racing with my dad. Boy, he'd yell at me up and down. I mean, to the point where some people would call children to youth services today, but it was okay. I held my own. Him and I, we'd be in the fights in the pits sometimes, but we'd win races. We'd roll in somewhere and people would know, shit, Gifford's here. We were intimidating. I hate to sound cocky, but we were driven. So anybody that wants to do this, you just have to have your heart in it. And that's what it's all been about for me. Since I was a little kid, I just dreamed about having a funny car. And even when I was younger, I told my old man, I said, Dad, someday I'm going to drive a funny car or Top Fuel. And he goes, no, you're not. You don't have enough money to ever do that. I'll hold my beer and watch this. We went and worked my ass off, and here we are. I got it.
Yeah. A man without a vision will perish, and you certainly had a vision. You got that vision, and you have chased it down. And lest anybody think that you're always incredibly intense and on top of everything. You can see the cat and the dog running around there, and you got to be an animal lover. That puts you in really good company around Funny Car Chaos, because there's so many folks that bring their furry friends with them, and an important part of the family. So that's always good to see that somebody's caring and loves animals.
Yeah, we got a house full of cats here. In fact, my crew guys will tell you it's like the cat emporium here. They're all rescues, and I will say to this point, I've sacrificed having a family, not just for racing but for work. And I've seen so many people do it the other way, where they rush into the family and everything else before they establish themselves. So these cats they're to me and Ashley, the girl everybody sees with me all the time. God bless her. She's been on a hard road with me, because like I said, I'm a bastard to deal with at times. But for her and I, the cats, they're our kids. And we got 7 in the house with us, but we got 2 that travel with us down the road racing. And they're a big part of our going down the road without killing each other, because the 2 cats keep us calm.
Well, that's good. That's good. Give us a preview for when folks come to Maryland International Raceway and come for the Funny Car Chaos event there. They're going to find you there and see the team. Tell me what you're expecting at that event.
Well, so Gary and I, when we've been thinking about this deal, this tune-up it's a hybrid from a late 80s, early 90s deal. We built this car for Chaos with the intent to run 350s consistently. On the first going at a track that actually had some rubber on it, you saw we ran it should have run 375 right off the trailer, but I'm a no driving turd looking for the chutes, drove it towards the wall. Anyway, but we ran 69 in the semis, and it had a 9:51 short time. In the finals, it had a 9:44 short time, and I clicked it a little early, because just seeing that distraction over there with Mr. Wheeler, he's a great driver, but he was getting close to the center line, and I'm watching it out of the corner of my eye, so you tend to drive towards it. Well, anyway, I clicked a little early because I knew I was getting towards the cones, and I thought I had got the cones, but we didn't. So that run there probably should have run 64, 210, 211. So we know we're knocking on the door right now. And like I said, the plugs are they're not even warm. Like, we ran the same 8 plugs in the final round that we did in the semi, mainly because we were out of plugs. But we're stocked on that now. But I don't want to step on my you-know-what. But I think we're going to have a badass hot rod there in Maryland. The track is prepped really good there. I've run some 630s, 620s there in my altered years ago. I think you're going to see some really, really good times out of us, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's all got to come together. But I think you'll see some pretty stout numbers out of us there, and we'll have a good time.
Well, we certainly will have a great time there. And man, again, it's a delight to see you back in the saddle at Chaos events. This series loves you, and it sounds like you love it. And we are very much anticipating seeing some more of Svengali and Jim Gifford, and you and your team at Chaos events.
Yep, definitely. I got to take a moment here. I got to thank. So we bought that car from the Richards family, Paul, Dave Richards, Gary Richards. Those guys, they more or less donated a lot of stuff to us to help us. Mike Smith helped me put this car together. One winner here was 21, the 2020-21 winner. And there's a lot of good people behind this that I don't get to mention, and I'm going to forget a lot of them. But there's been so many great people that helped this come together, and I gotta take my hat off and say thank you for all their help putting this together and making it happen, and providing us with parts and pieces to make it happen.
Well, they're certainly being rewarded with outstanding performances on the racetrack. So glad you got a chance. Glad you got a chance to pass on those words of thanks. Lee, this man's got it going on.
He does. And I do have one last question. I'm sure a lot of folks wonder, and I haven't been able to ask yet. It is a beautiful funny car. There you all are in Victory Lane at Eddyville Raceway Park. Looks great in the sun or under the lights. Svengali. What is a Svengali? What's behind the name?
So Svengali is actually, it's from a novel from the late 1800s. And he was an evil sorcerer, if you will. And he manipulated a beautiful young lady named Trilby and got her to become famous. And basically, when he was done with her, cut his ties, and she had nothing. And that's not who I am. But the definition of Svengali is someone who rules or dominates with an evil intent through manipulation. And that's kind of been the basis of this car. We got some really not outdated, it's all good stuff, but stuff that most people would go, I don't know if that's going to work. And Dave settles. We run nuke pumps. In fact, I have a couple of them, and this is the smallest one we have on this car. And I talked to Mr. Settles originally. I said, I sent the pump back to him, let him flow it, and it was a 41. He got up to 43 for me, and we were talking. I told him the combination. He goes, kid, he says, I don't think it's gonna be enough pump for you. And I had already had it in my mind that it was going to work out perfect. And he called me back a short time later. He goes, you know what? I've been thinking about it. He says, I think that thing's going to be about perfect for what you're doing. So that's just it. It's been me over the years of learning and doing this and just honestly just thinking about how to make it work, how to manipulate it so that I can go kick people's asses. And that's exactly what we want to do. And I don't want to be rude. I respect all the racers out there. But when it's go time, I see blood. I want to win.
There you go.
Shots fired.
But all the racers out there are great. I would do anything for them, and we saw it with fire bottle issues. Jeff Cameron, thank you for letting us borrow your fire bottles. And the Nitro Madness Alder, I set mine off in the semis against them, and they were nice enough to donate their spares for us, too, to go into the final round. So, shots fired, yeah, but everybody out there, great racers. I love racing with everybody in this whole entire CHAOS outfit.
Well, Jim, we are certainly glad to.
And we could not be more excited to have you. And we will look forward to seeing you the next time at the races at Maryland International Raceway.
Yep. Look forward to seeing you guys there as well.
All right. Good evening, man.
Are you cutting me off now?
We're cutting you off.
All right. Jim, thank you very much for being with us here tonight.
I get credit for that.
Adios.
All right, see you guys.
Well, David, look, good conversation there with Mr. Gifford, and good show already tonight. Some housekeeping. Ladies and gentlemen, look, if you are watching, no matter what platform you're watching on, whether that's Nitro CHAOS, Funny Car CHAOS Facebook page, or the Funny Car CHAOS YouTube page, hit the like button. And if you have the opportunity, hit the share button. Let folks know that CHAOS Live is, live. And join in on the conversation. David, while we got an opportunity, do want to bring up a comment and do want to mention the great catering we have, an opportunity to eat very well. Big Baron's Top End Grub says howdy to everyone. You and I, we have definitely partook on some great meals from Heath and his chuck wagon, if you will, at Funny Car CHAOS and Nitro CHAOS, and they do a phenomenal job.
That's exactly right. I have after the races were done at Eddyville, and for the most part, the only time I would eat was at the end of the racing. Went over there to the Performance Motor Coach RV and Marine tent, and that's where Big Barons was set up, and they had food there. And I mean, I've not eaten better food anywhere. It was really, really good. They had fajitas one night and had barbecue one night, and it was so good. And the racers are just raving about the convenience that they offer by being able to have the food prepared for them instead of having to while they're working on getting their cars put together, have to fix some food. Well, Big Barons has already got that taken care of for them.
They do. Just a little bit more housekeeping. Jason Grout asks, where can we watch live streams of the events? Yes, you can do that. And it's easy to do it, and easier than ever, in fact, because now there's even a monthly subscription with flowracing.com. And our streams are presented by Larice Motorsports Insurance. You will hear the voice of David Rattan calling it all, and some information from me in the pits as the day goes along of CHAOS, all done and orchestrated by Mr. Warren Evans, and then James Armstrong as well out there manning a camera. Pretty good, I think, stream overall. One of the best streams on the drag racing side of flow racing, if I do say so myself. Did you?
Okay, I don't know if you can hear the thunderstorm that is at my house periodically, and every once in a while I'll see the thing kind of and the thunder is just booming out here. So I'm not able to. I don't know when it's going to thunder. That's above my pay grade. So if you hear thunder, that's just outside my house. And as far as Jim goes, was I cutting you off? No, it started. It looked like we were both. The thing started spinning, and it looked like we were getting disconnected. So I was just, just trying to ad lib as we went on there. So if you didn't get a chance to say something, we'll certainly bring you back. But man, a lot of good conversation right there with Jim Gifford.
Sure was. We're about to have a good conversation with the mystery guest, the special guest, guest. Return to CHAOS. Anybody want to take? Hey, in the comments section, put your guesses in. Put your guesses. Who might be coming on CHAOS Live?
I'll give you one hint. His first CHAOS event was 2018. Not the same event as Jim Gifford, but they both ran their first CHAOS race in 2018.
All right, 2018, both ran their first CHAOS race, and he has competed in a lot of CHAOS races. Certainly an individual that in the pits, a lot have asked, hey, when is that guy going to come back? Well, he is coming back, and we're going to bring him here live on CHAOS Live right after the break. And David and myself will be chatting with the mystery guest.
Check out Twisted Shifterz for the largest selection of made in the USA custom shift knobs and adapters. Made for muscle cars, old and new, hot rods to race cars, and for the big rigs. With our original shift toppers adapter for the air shifters to use any threaded shift knob like the old days. Add custom lettering and logos to make it your own custom shift knob. TwistedShifters.com. We are made in America and we ship worldwide.
Biggest funny car event of the season is coming. Friday and Saturday, June 16th and 17th. The Twisted Shifterz Summer Nationals. Presented by 360 Steel. It's Funny Car Chaos. With nearly 36 outlaw flip-top plastic fantastics invading Cordova Dragway. Plus, gear jamming hot rods with Midwest Pro Stocks, Nostalgia Gassers and Super Stocks, Ozark Super Shifters, and more. It's all kicking off Friday evening at 7 with 2 huge Funny Car qualifiers. Then on Saturday, final qualifying at 2 p.m., followed by no-holds-barred eliminations at 6. And we're not done yet. See incredible flame-throwing jet funny cars lighting up the sky both nights. Parking and pit passes are free with your general admission ticket. Go to CordovaDragway.com to get them now. The biggest, wildest, and most chaotic packed funny car event of the season. It's the Twisted Shifterz Summer Nationals. Presented by 360 Steel. Friday and Saturday, June 16th and 17th at Cordova Dragway. Who's your money on?
And riding back into Funny Car Chaos as if he is the High Plains drifter himself, it's the American outlaw, Alan Middendorf, coming back. Good to have you back, man.
Thank you. We're excited to come back. It's been almost 2 years.
Roll up the windows and lock the doors. The American outlaw is coming back to CHAOS. Man, when you come back, when you showed up the first time, it was with a bang, and of course, one of those bangs was against that left side wall in qualifying. But man, you have you came out, and more than one time, you've just absolutely blown the doors off on the performance level with the car. And everything that you bring, you and Jake bring to the party, man. We are excited to see you coming back to Cordova.
I'm excited to come back. During COVID, during the pandemic, a lot of my companies, several of them, are support infrastructure. So business increased, and demanded a lot of my time. So, first and foremost, business is my obligation, racing second. So I made the decision to step away and focus on business. I have a lot of responsibilities, and we decided to put it on hold. It was a hard decision.
Well, there's folks that will race and figure out a way to come up with the money to scrape by, but that's not your style. You have always come to the racetrack, with the parts and the equipment and the race car to compete at a very high level. And evidently, Alan, you're pretty good at business, because you just continue to build business after business after business, and there seems to be a lot of demand for an American Outlaw.
It is. I mean, I don't know when to stop. I'm a guy that drives down the highway and sees an opportunity, and I want to see how I can do it better, more efficient, and provide a better service to a customer. So, but we run about 5 to 6 businesses here in Illinois and Missouri, and I'm in the middle of starting 2 divisions down in the Dallas, Texas area. I've been down there actually off and on for a couple of weeks. Me and Chris had lunch about 2 weeks ago. He actually bought me steak and lobster. So, it demands a lot. I run the day-to-day, excuse me. I run the day-to-day operations, and a lot of what I do, there's 7-day-a-week operations. So, it's constant go, and, it just continued to grow, and opportunities arose, and we added more companies during COVID. And then we made the decision here in the last 60 days to go to Texas. And I fell in love with Texas by going to CHAOS. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I drive the tractor trailer to all the races. Every time I come into Texas, is just the economy down there is insane. So, ever since 2018, I wanted to go there, and now time's allowed me. But, a lot of people ask me, like, where you been, when you coming back? And it's hard to explain to people just how demanding what I do is. And I have a lot of people that help me do this, but, when I go to the racetrack, my phones are ringing. I carry 2 cell phones, emails, and it's I just couldn't do it no more. I just had to stop and focus on what I had to do.
You in this time that you've been off, you didn't. It wasn't all work. You kind of reconnected with an old love, and I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about motorcycle racing. Tell us about that.
So my background several years ago was motocross, supercross, arena cross, and I gave that up probably in my mid-20s. And all this work, when I took time away from drag racing, I was working. I had the opportunity to do some motocross racing. I took advantage of the opportunity. Probably the general public knows it didn't go as planned all the time. I mean, it was, I lost a bunch of weight training. I had a lot of people come on board and help me, some trainers, suspension people. Everything was going good, and I had 2 nasty crashes. I probably should have stopped after the first one, but we kept going, and then this last one, I had to call it quits. I mean, breaking the back, that wasn't that. Breaking the back was a nasty one, and then January I had a really bad one. So we just said enough's enough, and kept working on business and made a decision to coming back chaos racing, and that's what my focus is on.
You know, you work with Jake Sanders, and a great guy to work with. First time that we saw Jake Sanders at Chaos was at the first one when he and his dad came down to North Star Dragway and won the whole thing. And then a year later, we see Jake Sanders again, and he's with this crazy guy from Illinois with this American Outlaw funny car, and came down and just started off just on the right foot with big numbers, and got a chance to see you race for a while. And you know, you made a lot of fans early on, and got you. I can see those trophies up behind you, and of course, those were huge celebrations at each one of those events with the cowboy hats and everything that you guys bring to the dance. So for those that weren't around at the beginning, take us back to that, because you got a front row seat to some of the early days of Chaos, and played a starring role in several events.
You know, so I don't know. Most people probably don't know, but I raced cars off and on. I took a long break when I started the businesses. You know, I started the first business that I owned in 2013. So I decided just to focus on work, and that I've been self-employed pretty much my whole life, and decided when I stepped away from it that when I come back, I'm going to do it on my own, like everything else I do. On, you know, my own team, my own car, everything on my terms. And I'm, no matter what I do in life, I want everything to be first class. You know, I don't show up. I don't know if this probably sounds correctly, but I don't show up to barbecue. I show up to win races. And if I don't have what I need inside that trailer, we're not coming. And when I say that, I mean spare engines, whatever it takes. But Jake helped me build the operation from scratch. I mean, I had a chassis, and that was it. And I had a bunch of Tupperware containers of tools. I met him through Scott Palmer. Scott said, "You guys will be good together. You guys both talk a lot." So that's in 2016, I met Jake, and we started with nothing, and then here we are. And I made a deal with him that I'm not going to race without him unless he's there. And that's been the same deal this whole time. I mean, he's made sacrifices and put things, I think, and people on the back burner to race with me. But we work really well together, and it's been a smooth transition. And we had a talk when I stepped away, and I said, "Hey, man, this is a deal." And he said, "You know, you got to make money so you can buy parts. And I know you don't want to go unless we have the right stuff." So I talked to the whole team and just told everybody I'm stepping away, and they were totally on board with it.
So you got the band back together, and you're headed for Cordova, and you've been there before, right?
Yeah. So actually, when we built, I have a few altered. So when we built it, we had nowhere to test it. We went to a couple places. We kept getting rained out. Jay called the Laganas that was there during the World Series, and we were like 7 hours away, and they said, "Yeah." They talked to Cordova. They said, "Bring it." So I was in a mad rush. I mean, I was driving the tractor trailer probably a little quicker than I should, but I beat the crew guys there, and we set up and made one of the first hits there. And I mean, it went on the internet and people loved it. And, you know, it was a great experience. I like Cordova. We're really excited to go back. We tried to rent the track next week to do some testing. It just didn't work out for me or Cordova. So we're just going to go there and make a test hit on Friday. And I think we'll be fine. I mean, obviously Jake's no dummy. We've seen him do some crazy stuff, you know, and we started messing with the car 3 weeks ago, getting ready for Cordova. We started it on Sunday. Everything's good. We changed a couple small things, but we have a lot of information. Has information from Cordova from going there, you know, with his dad and people. So, you know, we're pumped. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. got to knock some dust off, but I mean, it'll come around. You know, the whole crew's together. We have another guy coming in. He's a new guy, but he works on a championship car over in NHRA, so he's very well rounded. And you know, we're coming with a trailer full of parts. We changed some stuff. The wrap's the same. It's not flat black. We actually did the design on the carbon fiber. We have a ton of new merchandise. We're actually going to be part of a sponsor for Funny Car CHAOS with my energy drink I came out with, American Hollow Energy. And doing that, we're coming out with a merchandise trailer. So it'll be on the Midway Cordova with a bunch of new exciting items with American Hollow and the energy drink. So adding another thing to my plate, but I'm excited to bring that out and interact with the fans and showcase merchandise and the energy drink.
So no small start. Now, talking about no small start, you've got you're running the same car, same twin mag, big pump, big header flames at night for the fans.
Yes. We actually put a different pump on a while back, but it's actually flowing 110 gallons. So it obviously helps make those big flames. I mean, I'm not a tuner. I'm not going to lie. You know, he does what he does, and you know, he looks at me and says, "Hey, hold on. It may do this, may do that. Be ready to catch it." But we've seen him. It goes A to B all the time. We've tried a few things, and it's heading in the right direction. It was in the beginning before I stopped, you know, obviously, but we'll kick the dust off of it, kind of like the Luke Bryan song, kick the dust up, roll in with our cowboy boots and cowboy hats and 6-shooters and see what we can throw at them, you know. And I tell you what, too, the biggest thing where I'm excited about coming back is all the fans. You know, I mean, we've had a lot of them message us, and I'm excited to get back, you know, to hug some ladies, kiss some babies, and high five random people. But yeah, I mean, I know I'm a little off course here, but I talk too much. So, but anyway, getting back to the car, you know, we're ready, we're good to go. We have a bunch of new parts, everything's serviced, and we're ready to. I'm excited. I'm counting the days and pretty pumped up. So.
I got that impression yesterday when we were on the conversation. You could probably tell that, you know, the excitement level is pretty high all around. Ken Singleton says, "You don't miss me."
You know what? I'm not going to lie. So that trophy behind me, the second place, obviously Ken won that. So that was a damn close deal. If I wouldn't have crashed, I think I missed it by 10 points and skipped 3 or 4 races. But what I can say is after that whole deal, me and Ken actually became pretty good friends. You know, we chat on the phone, and we haven't been in touch as much as we normally have. Just I've gotten busy and I miss his call. And if you're listening, Ken, I still love you. And don't answer the phone on speakerphone. And David, he can tell you about that during Christmas. It's a funny story. But, you know, I am pumped. You know, when you step away from it, competing with some of the best hardworking funny cars in the country, because, you know, we talked yesterday, right? So I get asked all the time, why not go NHRA racing? Well, I'm going to tell you and everybody else watching, the drivers, the fans, is I have the capabilities to do it, but why? I mean, why spend all the money to be on TV and to be involved in it? I'm not knocking NHRA. I mean, eventually I may do it without a doubt, but the guys that race CHAOS, they're 9 to 5 guys. They own a business. They're down to earth. They'll talk to you. They'll help you. And that's where I want to be. I mean, I have no interest there. I mean, I'd be lying to you if eventually I'm going to try it, obviously. But the chaos that Chris, you, the whole people involved in it, and build a place for people to race. I mean, where else would I get the experience in becoming a team owner to take my car and showcase it and get laps and build an infrastructure with my team and crew, and CHAOS is it. I mean, you guys draw some of probably the best fans. You guys make it affordable for them to come. The tracks are great. They're clean facilities, and all the drivers interact with everybody. It's like I told you yesterday. I mean, I'll invite people in for a beer. I mean, I don't drink anymore, but come in, have a beer, have a hot dog, have a bratwurst, bag of chips, sit in the car. If you got $500, we may start it. I mean, but I'm just joking there. But so I love CHAOS, and I'm excited totally. When you step away from it, you realize all the people you miss, and I was dying to come back. It's just everybody there is fantastic. I don't care if you're a guy working the starting line to the track owner to all of you guys. You're a pleasure to work with. It's like doing business with my employees, my vendors, my customers. I really enjoy working with those people, and it's really enjoyable to come race with the infrastructure that you guys built. And it actually, I don't know about anybody else, but it's provided me opportunities to add and grow companies by people I met at CHAOS, or where you guys took me to race in the country. I wouldn't have a couple of these opportunities and have met people if it wasn't for CHAOS. So my goal, even more going forward, is to do more business networking with, places I come into town with races at CHAOS. I mean, a lot of people don't really know what I do. I don't really push what I do on social media. I'm pretty quiet on social media. Obviously, I talk too much, but a lot of people don't know 100%. So I'm going to, use it. Maybe there's a service I can provide to somebody, a track, help somebody out in business that I do something they want to get into. So I got a whole new outlook. I'm charged up, and we're ready to roll. So we're gonna promote the Middendorf companies going forward, and we don't have all our websites done, but we're going to be adding the companies to that to kind of showcase what we do. And it's a wide spectrum of stuff. And some people ask, like, how'd you go from doing this to this? It's pretty crazy, but I'm a very lucky individual, and Donnie's lucky to have me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Glad you put that just kidding in there. Now there's, you go back to 2017, Funny Car CHAOS was a clean sheet of paper, and Chris and Tara, started drawing it up and invited some people to see who came, and some folks did. And the next year more came, and we talked to Jim Gifford just before you, and you two racers showed up the very next year, and had a big part in creating what we now are enjoying today. And ever since that time, there has been more teams and more teams and more teams and new teams. People that never had a funny car before are putting one together and finally saying, you know what, there's a place that I can race. And, if Alan Middendorf can do it, maybe I can't do it on that same level, but I can do it because there's some people like you that set that example out there. So hearing it from you is gratifying, and I appreciate the words of praise that you put on CHAOS, and we just give it right back to you and to the other funny car teams and other Nitro CHAOS teams that, rule number one is to have fun. And so if you have people show up that aren't interested in having fun, they're in the wrong place. But, it has just been that way. We have got many people that come and they love to have a grand time and do some serious racing. I mean, it is definitely first class racing, but what an environment. Well, man, What else do you have for us? Tell us about your plans for 23 and 24.
Well, the plans, we're going to run Cordova, obviously. I'm going to commit and go to Maryland. As of right now, that's all I have planned with Funny Car. We're planning on testing the Altered sometime September, October before the weather hits here in St. Louis. So we'll close out as that. I mean, I don't have any more time to do any more this year. Next year, I'm hoping, the plan is to run the few Altered at Nitro CHAOS. I don't know how many I'll do, but when we show up at Nitro CHAOS, it'll definitely be with the Altered. And I would venture to say for sure 4 Funny Car races. But like I said, I'll know more. I got to get through this year and these other things I'm doing out of state and get everything together. But we're definitely going to be at Nitro CHAOS with the Altered, and we'll see how many I show up to. We're definitely going to be at CHAOS. We'll probably release a schedule in February, beginning of March, to let people know where we're going, and kind of go from there. I mean, we may do more races. We may do, one series more than the other. But we're excited to get the Altered out. I have not ran that Altered since 2019, and it's fun. We're ready, excited to run it. I guess I need to thank a few people. Obviously, my company, the Middendorf companies, without all the people that work for me and support me, I couldn't financially run the level I do. Snake Enterprises, that's Jake. Obviously, he does race cars, CNC. He's got plastic injection molding machines. I mean, the guy could, you could call him up today and say, hey, I need you to make me an ink pen out of aluminum with a snake on the end of it. I mean, the kid's talented. I mean, put him away from the racing industry is really unbelievable. Torco's back on board as a oil supplier and lubricants. Vinyl Images out of Fenton, Missouri. They wrap my rigs, my cars, my signage. They've done that since day one. Katie from Apple Girl Art, you can obviously see the second place trophy. So she helps us on the crew. She makes a hell of a product for, like Jake, she can make anything out of a nut or a bolt. So all those people help me. Financially, our product. So I'm very thankful for that. And, like I said, everybody's coming back. Jake, Jim, Tom, Katie, Donnie. We got the unknown guy, Chicken Man. He's coming over from one of the pro teams to help us out for CHAOS. And I'm really excited. So I guess kind of to recap, because I get asked questions. I mean, we do, the Middendorf companies basically consist of, we have a trucking division, excavating railroad division. We buy industrial land in and out of state, and I redevelop it. Anything from chemical plants to tire shredding facilities. We go in and redo them and develop them, land lease them. We're involved, actually, ironically, I'm involved in the pharmaceutical industry now. And then obviously we're coming out with American Outlaw, and the Texas division is actually going to be trucking, and we're going to do semi-trailer leasing, which the trailer leasing is a new deal. So, we're, like I said, to kind of recap real quick, is I'm trying to promote what I do, because I think Chris's platform creates business to business networking, from a fan to a racer to whoever you interact with, and it's served me well so far. So, David, I'll keep talking till midnight if we keep questions. But I won't keep everybody too long here. But you asked Jim about how he got started in drag racing, right? I was a motocrosser. I went to a Super Chevy show in Gateway and seen a drag car for the first time. And my dad's a car collector, and I thought it was cool. So I met this old guy that had a 55 Nomad with a 1,500 horsepower Linko. And I walked over and I said, man, this is a badass car. It was tubbed. It was cool. And me being kind of a, smart ass that I am in a good way, I said, ain't you too old and a little bit overweight to drive this thing? And he turned around and said, kid, you couldn't handle this power. And I'm like, well, maybe you're right. I'll just kind of be quiet. Well, he invited me to the NHRA Nationals. He had a suite. And that's where I seen the first funny car. And, I seen, Selzy run, a couple other guys. There was an explosion. I thought, man, that is wicked compared to a motocross bike. So I just started flying the races and talking my way in the gate and going from pit to pit to asking if I could wash parts. And I did that with several people, and then just it graduated from there. Frank Hawley's and an alcohol dragster, alcohol funny car, and nitro car, and then took a break and then drove an Alter, and then here we are today. So, we were kind of talking about, you were talking about the different types of racers. Well, I'm going to tell you what, there's no easy draw at CHAOS. I mean, I don't care if you're running a big block Chevy or you're running a 12,000 horsepower funny car. There is no easy draw, because then them other cars are deadly consistent. And so, it doesn't matter who I line up with, who the guy is. I mean, all these other racers are super, super competitive, and you can see it by who's winning the points and what's going on. I mean, I haven't followed the points and like what was going on, this last year or more, but I started looking at it lately, and I'm like, man, these guys that got these quick cars are not up in the points all the time. And that's the thing, is there's such a variety of cars. It's a good time for the spectators, and it makes it really competitive. I mean, a lot of these guys go A to B, so you got to be on your game. They cut good lights, and I mean, there's no easy draw. I mean, that's what's awesome, is it's super competitive no matter what you have or who you're lining up with.
That's a fact, man. And looking at the points right now, 2023 is wide open. I mean, and we're going to a stretch. We go to Cordova, which is kind of what I was alluding to earlier. It's it's one of the big tracks, but then you've got Kearney, and we're going to Albuquerque where there is no air, and so it is absolutely wide open to see who's going to be the champion this year. And Alex Barker, running the C and the D field, he's up on top of the points by, nearly 30 points. Well, that's a nice lead, but I wouldn't call it a comfortable lead. And it goes right back to what you're saying, man. There's no easy draw, and this is going to be a great finish.
There is no easy draw. I mean, look, Baloo's consistent. There's a consistent alcohol cars. There's no easy draw, and whoever's consistent is going to win this damn thing. We seen who won the championship. Alcohol car, and now, I mean, hell, if you got a big block Chevy and you're deadly consistent, you're going to win the thing. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe I can shake things up at Cordova. I mean, I'm crossing my fingers. Donnie told me, do your job, look straight, just get the job done. So she's my biggest cheerleader and my boss, at the track. But I'm excited. I mean, I know I say it over and over, but the drivers I do know, I'm excited to see them. One of my goals is to try to meet more drivers. I mean, honestly, I know maybe about 5 people at CHAOS, which is crazy. But I'm so wrapped up over what we're doing. So I'm hoping to get to meet people. You get in a rush, and then you see people on CHAOS Live and different interviews, and they're like, man, that's a cool ass person. I want to go meet them. There's so many walks of life, and so many, awesome individuals just out there doing what I want to do, with the capability of doing it in CHAOS. So we're pumped, man. I don't know. I drank an energy drink before I got on here, so that's probably why I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've been around you enough to know that you don't need an energy drink to be energetic, but
My heart's beating out of my chest right now, actually. So, yeah. But hey, thank you very much. I've gotten to know you and everybody, and I've had some high and low times over there at CHAOS, and a lot of encouragement. After I've crashed and obviously done some other things, but you guys are unbelievable, and you guys give a lot of encouragement. Just keep going. After the accident was a pretty bad deal, and you get to a point where you're like, man, what I do wrong, or you start thinking deep thoughts about mistakes, whatever you make, and you guys, some people over there, I won't mention any names, come and checked on me right away in my trailer, and like, man, don't give up, like, you're doing it. What I mean? It's, you just kind of once in a while think about things, and that's the thing about your series is you're there to lend a hand, no matter if it's you pray with us or whoever comes talks to you. It's a great deal. So I'll try to shut up here. I know you probably you got stuff to do, and everybody else. So but thank you very much for all that you do and that you've done for me.
Oh man, absolutely. And we'll look forward to seeing you when we get to Cordova, and just to shake your hand, get a chance to see you again, and you're going to get a chance to meet a bunch of new racers. The driver meeting, used to be 20, somewhere between 16 and 22 most of the time, and it's going to be 36 this time. So, we've got a bunch more racers coming, and I know that you're excited to meet them, and I know a bunch of them are excited to meet you, but we will all have a great time up there. Man, a lot to say, Lee.
It's going to be good to have the American Outlaw back. I've only been able to enjoy one race with Alan there. That was the Funny Car CHAOS Classic a couple of years ago. So I'm looking forward to seeing Alan back, and it's going to be good to have him there and shake things up. Alan, seems like you were always able to do that one way or the other, so we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got to talk to you, have
I? Actually, not on an interview type basis. No, the last outing you had was rather atrocious for you, and there wasn't much to talk about. So hopefully we see that turn around for you in Cordova.
Yeah, well, we don't need any more of that stuff happening, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to meeting with you and chatting with you. Definitely come over. Anyway, I appreciate it, guys, very much, and we'll see you in a week.
All right. Very good.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Alan.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, one mystery solved, but he gave us another one. Who is the big show crew person that's coming to work with him? I guess we'll find out in about a week and a half when we get to Cordova for what promises to be an exceptional event. The Funny Cars are going to be the headliners for Funny Cars are going to be the headliners for that event at Cordova. But Twisted Shifterz and 360 Steel have got pre-party going to be taking place on Thursday at their place. They got shuttle buses running from Cordova up to their factory at Fulton, Illinois, providing food, and going to be a big time. And
a lot of fun last year. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I missed it last year. I'm hoping to get a chance to do it this year. And the feedback on it was great. But we've got the Nostalgia Pro Stockers, we've got the Gassers, we've got the Stick Shifters, and of course they always have such a big sportsman following there at Cordova. I've been chatting with Mike Lane, their announcer up there, and it's always a big time there. So anyway, got a chance to hear from a couple of racers that have said they're going to be at Maryland. So kind of a big preview for Maryland right there as the A field has been put on notice at Maryland.
For sure. And David, again, I know we say it a lot, but congratulations to Chris and Tara Graves and so many other people involved. the chaos continues to grow and the hype around it continues to get better and better. Maryland's going to be awesome. Cordova's going to be awesome. Chaos in the Cornfield was spectacular. Truly an epic event. It continues to get better and better and better. So if you're out there and you're watching, you need to come experience a race, whether you're a racer or a fan. It's that simple.
That's right. And as our footprint gets larger, as we go further, we push the borders. We're to the East Coast now, and we move in west to the Rocky Mountains now. And as that footprint grows, when there's a chaos race in the neighborhood, make sure you get there. And if you can't get there, we'll be here on Chaos Live. And we've got our Funny Car Chaos YouTube channel for people to like and subscribe to. And we'll keep you up to date on everything there is going on. Lee's doing such a tremendous job of adding content all the time, from event to event and even between events. And so, all things chaos, it's a place to be. So make sure you're there.
For sure. And hey, speaking of content, working on the recap from Eddyville, Chaos in the Cornfield recap. So that will be coming out this week. It will come out this week, or if I don't, Chris will be calling me routinely and regularly. So I've got to get it out. I had some other things to cover in the drag racing world to make this working out dream possible. And even took a trip over there to McKinney Court, one of our sponsors, and had a good little time with Murph McKinney. And hey, I think I mentioned it last show, but he himself said that he was really impressed with chaos in the Cornfield.
Yeah, you did, and I probably said it before too, but riding around in the pit area at Eddyville and seeing a guy that you think you recognize and go, that's Murph McKinney. He's at our race. That's pretty darn cool.
It is.
The people that we get to see and rub elbows with, rub shoulders with at this deal, it's exciting. And it's not hype. My dad used to say it ain't bragging if you can do it. And this is not hype. It's genuine and real. And I love to see the comments that people are posting about how they're experiencing all things chaos.
Right on, man. Well, look, it has been good to do once again Chaos Live with you, and each and every one of you that have commented. Make sure hit the like button, hit the share button. We will be back. Well, I suppose after Cordova, but Cordova first, then Chaos Live back then, and continuing with the run of chaos in 2023. Its most epic season thus far. Calling it. David, Good night, man.
Tomorrow's going to be another day. Make it a great one. We'll see y'all next time. Good night.
The biggest funny car event of the season is coming. Friday and Saturday, June 16th and 17th. The Twisted Shifterz Summer Nationals. Presented by 360 Steel. It's Funny Car Chaos. With nearly 3 dozen outlaw flip-top plastic fantastics invading Cordova Dragway. Plus, gear jamming hot rods with Midwest Pro Stocks, Nostalgia Gassers and Super Stocks, Ozark Super Shifters, and more. It's all kicking off Friday evening at 7 with 2 huge Funny Car qualifiers. Then on Saturday, final qualifying at 2 p.m., followed by no-holds-barred eliminations at 6. And we're not done yet. See incredible flame-throwing jet funny cars lighting up the sky both nights. Parking and pit passes are free with your general admission ticket. Go to CordovaDragway.com to get them now. The biggest, wildest, and most chaotic packed funny car event of the season. It's the Twisted Shifterz Summer Nationals. Presented by 360 Steel. Friday and Saturday, June 16th and 17th at Cordova Dragway. Who's your money on?